Hey guys, Jonathan here, and I've got the Notre Dame de Paris Lego set, which of course is a new set from the architecture line. Lego sent me this early to review, but of course all thoughts are my own. This comes out on June 1st, 2024 for $230, but it does have 4,383 pieces, so as far as piece count goes, it's actually a really good value for the money. Now, if you're new to Lego, that might not sound like it, but generally you're looking at about 10 cents per piece in a Lego set is how you generally determine value. So getting almost 4,400 pieces is pretty incredible. That being said, it's also 16 inches from end to end, from here to here. So whether you display it this way or this way, it's going to require a lot of space on a shelf or table or something like that. So that is something to be mindful of. Now, this thing is absolutely immaculate, and it's just an incredible build. Very repetitive, though, as you can imagine, because as I spin it around, you can see that many of the things, like the flying buttresses, which we'll take a look at closer in a moment, are very repetitive the whole way around. Now, something incredibly cool is that the outside is actually built to scale as a one-to-one replica, in the sense that all of these columns, all of the flying buttresses, and everything like that is exactly the same as the actual Notre Dame in Paris. Now, when we get inside, the designer did have to play around a little bit with the, proportions and things like that, but beyond that, it is incredibly cool. I also want to take a brief look at the instruction manual because it is pretty special for this model, but yeah, without further ado, let's start taking a closer look at the set after I've spun it around here for you a couple times, and then we could explore it even closer. So the instructions do deserve their own special look because there's so many great notes in here from the designer, Rock, as well as all the great looks at how you build it in the actual order it was built in real life. So you start in 1163 and you go on and on. Now, of course, you could pause the video and read any of these pages I'm about to show you, but something that I think is worth pointing out is Lego has had a stance for a long time that they don't make religious locations like churches or cathedrals. So this set is a bit of an outlier, and it is a little interesting that, they seem to have changed their stance on that for this set. And I really do think it's a beautiful set. And the designer, in my interview with him, which you can check out on my channel if you haven't already, said that he views it more as a building of the world, building of the people. While, yes, it is a church, it's more a historical building than it is a church. But I don't know. I'm not really sure that I necessarily agree with that per se, but still a great model. Just kind of worth pointing out, Lego's stance appears to have changed. So here you go. There's our final build page if you want to pause and read that. And with that being said, let's get into the video now. So we'll start at the front doors and work our way around. I really like that all three of these have their own unique archway here. It's built completely individual, and that's cool. And I want to save a big surprise for the end. The doors are open in the sense that you could put your eye right up to the inside and see inside. But I'm going to make you wait till the end, but trust me, it is totally worth it. As we spin the model on its side, you can see that we do have a little bit of greenery by way of the trees here, and those look really, really awesome. Of course, all of these columns are very repetitive to get built up, but it is incredibly fun. We do have a side door over here with a little pillar in there that just looks absolutely amazing. We'll continue to spin it around so you can see up close how, these columns work really, really well. Once again, it is very repetitive because you're basically building the same thing over and over and over again. But we've got another door on this side and a small little door right there, as you can see. And then that brings us back around to the front. So that's a pretty good view of the street level of the set. Now we'll kind of take a look at the mid-level, if you will, and something interesting is how they used all of these tan-colored magic wands. That way the stars kind of add a little bit of texture that is hidden just a little bit, and I got to interview the designer, which I highly recommend you check out that video on the channel now if you like this set, because he went into so much cool detail, but the thin part of this magic wand, he said, is the thinnest Lego element, so that's why he chose to use that there for a little extra texture and contouring. That being said, we do get 3 of these printed window pieces, which are cool, which again, you'll see another one on the side here, and as we spin the model around on the opposite side here. So as we turn it this way, you can see we've got more magic wands and stuff, but we've got these flying buttresses, and I'll take one off so that you can see how it's built. All of them around the model are basically built the same. Sometimes they use like just a little bit, maybe one extra brick or something to change the way that it lays in, depending on how far it is from the building. But on the actual Notre Dame, if you have never heard about this, these were used to collect rain, so as the rain would come off the roof, it would go in here and then come out of these spigots to keep the water away from the building so that no kind of erosion would happen or no water would actually get into the building, because interestingly enough, a lot of the internal structure is actually made of wood, so you definitely want to keep water away from that. That being said, as we come over here, you can see we've got a really nice, I don't know that I would go as far as calling it a steeple per se, but it is built really well here with the points and triangular effect there. Then, of course, we've got another one of those stickers. The flying buttresses in the back are just a little bit different in that these ones have kind of like the spike on the top, but still very, very cool. And we use the droid arms there as well for like extra support, which I really like. I do really like how they built the windows in here too, how they're black on top, trans black, and then clear on the bottom to kind of show like a shaded window effect. I think that that looks really great. Then, of course, going for the final 360 spin here, very identical to the other side, but incredibly cool nonetheless. Now that brings us to the top level, if you will, and we have two towers here that are identical, other than this point right here being mirrored of one another, and this does look incredibly cool. I love it a lot. We've got more of these kind of spikes sticking out here for rainwater let out, I presume. And then, of course, that brings us to the main roof section. Now, interestingly enough, as we looked at in the instructions, as you go through the set, you're building it in time periods. So you actually build this part of the roof first and then add this stuff on at the very end. If we move the camera up, you can see that the very tippy top is a like little sword here, like a fencing sword. And we use that over here as well, which is quite cool. But yeah, I really, really like that. And then you also, when you're putting the little green guys on there, one of them needs to be facing it. And I'm going to let you see the surprise in the instruction booklet as to why that is, unless you already know the history, in which case I can't educate you anymore. But let's go ahead and remove the roof so we can see the inside now. Okay, so the roof does lift up pretty easily. You just kind of lift it up that way. And then, of course, that brings us to the inside. You can see that the floor has like a diamond repeat pattern, but I do want to get my camera off the stand so I can show you some more angles. So we get these support beams here, and it is my one gripe about the set is that the inside of it is so incredibly beautiful, but from the bird's eye view, it is hard to see. I get that it's kind of structurally accurate to what we see in the actual Notre Dame, but it does make it difficult to see. If I tilt the model just a little bit, you can see inside where we have those really amazing pillars there that are on the second floor as well as the first floor. But like I said, it is one of my big gripes with the set that it is very difficult to see into the inside. So I do... You know, it's hard to get too excited about that. But remember, I do want to show you through the front doors, which is kind of a view to its own. So let's check that out now. Okay, so I am blasting this with light from the overhead as well as light coming through the front door. So that way you can see inside, and it is just absolutely breathtaking how you could see so much detail on the inside, almost like if you were at scale with it. But once again, I really don't know that the camera can do it justice. It looks amazing, and really, it's an incredible build detail to have gotten it that detailed. So with that being said, let's go ahead and finish up the video review. All right, guys, well, let me know what you think of this set in the comments down below. Look, I know any LEGO set over $200 is a tough swing, but if you're a history fan, an architecture fan, or even just a LEGO fan in general, this really is a great build, and it is incredible. The one nice thing is, I don't think that the build was too complex, so if you're new to LEGO or you haven't built too much, it is complex in the sense that there's a lot of pieces, but the build itself is very fun, and it's challenging in all the right ways. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks again to LEGO for sending this my way, and I'll see you guys on the next video.